The car of Sergey Yevsyukov, the former head of the correctional labor colony located in Yelenovka settlement in Ukraine's Russian-occupied Donetsk city, was blown up on December 9, local Telegram channels reported. As a result of the explosion, Yevsyukov, who was in the car, died, and his wife was seriously injured. According to preliminary information, an explosive device equivalent to 100 grams of TNT was placed in the Toyota Land Cruiser. It should be noted that Ukrainian prisoners of war, including fighters from the Azov regiment, were held in the colony headed by Sergey Yevsyukov. On July 29, 2022, at least 50 prisoners were killed and 140 were injured as a result of a missile strike on the colony. The Ukrainian side stated that the Russian army struck the colony. The goal was to eliminate traces of the torture inflicted on the prisoners held there. Until then, there were reports that some of the Ukrainian fighters held in the colony had been killed as a result of torture. Ukrainian political scientist Volodymyr Tsibulko explained that if nuclear weapons are deployed in Belarus, the Budapest Memorandum can be considered inoperative, and Ukraine will have the right to restore its nuclear status. He expressed this opinion on Espresso TV. A few days ago was the anniversary of the signing of the Budapest Memorandum. I am frankly surprised why the Ukrainian authorities did not turn this anniversary into a huge discussion platform on all well-known world panels. After all, it was the Budapest Memorandum that guaranteed the territorial integrity of Ukraine, explained Tsibulko. The political scientist noted that Ukraine will have every right to restore its nuclear status if Russian nuclear weapons are deployed in Belarus. It is important to explain why I started with the Budapest Memorandum. In addition to Ukraine, the memorandum includes Belarus and Kazakhstan. So during this war, there were many reports from Russia about the deployment of nuclear weapons in Belarus. Now they want to deploy a nuclear missile carrier on the territory of Belarus, as there are still some launch pits there. Therefore, if Lukashenko is now saying that he should be given access to launch such missiles, it would mean that Belarus automatically withdraws from the Budapest Memorandum and that this agreement has already completely ceased to be in force. In this scenario, Ukraine officially has the right to restore nuclear weapons. However, "We have never declared this and the right to restore nuclear weapons," he added. Recall, Russian leader Vladimir Putin said that it was possible to deploy the Orshnik system in Belarus. Russia and Belarus signed an agreement on security guarantees with the use of all available forces and means, including tactical nuclear weapons. As for the possibility of deploying such a formidable weapon as the Orshnik on the territory of Belarus, since we have signed an agreement on security guarantees with the use of all available forces and means, I believe that the deployment of such complexes as the Orshnik on the territory of the Republic of Belarus is possible, the Russian leader said. According to him, this will become possible in the second half of next year as the serial production of the systems increases in Russia and as these missile systems enter service with the Russian strategic forces. In his turn, Belarusian dictator Alexander Lukashenko declared an unprecedented level of strategic alliance. Russia attacked Dnipro with this missile on November 21.
Russian Geranium-2 drones, which are typically a version of the Iranian Shahed-136 drone that Russia has been launching en masse over Ukraine, have begun to lose control when making sharp turns after they began using Chinese-made rather than South Korean-made servo motors. This is reported in the article by the Washington Post. Some of the drones that lose control crash, while others level out, but become easy prey for Ukrainian air defense. A servo motor is a small device designed to regulate the movement of a UAV during flight. Previously, the Russians installed South Korean servo motors on their drones, but they are becoming increasingly difficult to obtain due to sanctions imposed on Russia. As a result, since the end of last year, Chinese servo motors have been used in geraniums, which may be the cause of the drone's strange behavior. The publication notes that Russia's use of low-quality components in drones has become a small victory for the West, which is seeking to completely block Russia's access to high-tech components. 3 years of pressure from an unprecedented sanctions campaign has weakened the Kremlin's war machine, forcing it to skimp on quality and use older and outdated equipment, US officials say, while putting its long-term viability in serious doubt. But Russia still manages to obtain many critical Western weapons parts with help from covert operatives and criminal gangs, and it buys others from China. For now, its forces are steadily gaining ground through sheer numerical advantages, so that the impact of the sanctions on the battlefield is muted, if not erased. There are so many of their drones that you can't even lift your head. Retired General Ihor Romanenko, former chief of the General Staff of the Ukrainian Army, said, "Despite the deterioration in the quality of Russian weapons, it doesn't have a significant impact. They achieve results through sheer mass deployment. Even as more Garand-2s fail to reach their targets, Russia's arms factories are managing to produce more of them and at higher rates." Top Ukrainian officials in November acknowledged that endless waves of drones from late summer through autumn had strained the capabilities of Kiev's defenders. Adding to the worries is the possibility that the incoming Trump administration will begin to cut down on Ukraine's supply of air defense munitions that prevent Russia's drones and missiles from getting through.